If you're like me and you're kind of an inherently political person, how do you react when someone is like, oh, I'm just not political? I try and stay out of that. Um, Personally, I'm like, well, aren't you a privileged little prince or princess? Because I've never been able to stay out of politics because politics has always been inherently linked to my life in some way, shape, or form, usually in some kind of government policy, usually in my inability to get health care. So, me and politics seem to be intrinsically linked. And telling me to stop being political is like telling me to stop breathing. My inability to stop breathing, for one, it's my desire and need to breathe is involuntary and absolutely necessary. And those are the two things that I would talk about my being political. I grew up with a very progressive family. My parents had me in a stroller on an anti-Vietnam War march when I was 3 months old, which was January in the middle of an Iowa winter. So I got my start early on in life. I grew up on a picket line for a major strike in a small Iowa town. And there were a lot of horrible things that happened during that strike that I witnessed. I used to answer the phone and hear people telling me that they were going to murder my stepfather. Yep, that's right. I would pick up the phone, my little girl voice. Hi, this is Missy. You've reached our family phone. How can I help you? And usually they were startled because they didn't expect to speak to a little girl. And most of the time they hung up. But there were several times where they were like, you tell your daddy that we're going to find him and we're going to kill him. Well, they did find my stepdad and they beat the shit out of him and sent him to hospital. And then that's a whole other story for the book that I'm writing about my childhood. But basically, politics has been all I've known my entire life. Because unless you are in such a privileged position that nothing that happens affects you, politics affects you. And you may not know it. You may not want to acknowledge it. You may not want to participate in it. You may want to ignore it. But politics affects you. And you can either choose to engage or you can choose